What up? What up? Welcome into Pregaming here, Sports Money, 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, 6 o'clock, July 31st. Happy last day of July. Summer is flying by, but we got ourselves some cash to make tonight. It's a short slate. Hope you guys aren't late for what we got coming here tonight. We got ourselves 3 games in Major League Baseball. The Cubs, the Reds, the Dodgers, the Padres, the A's, the Giants. Then we're going to talk a little Olympics. Not just Olympic golf, but I added a little Olympic women's boxing. Wait, let me say that better. Women's Olympic boxing. And I can't wait to talk to you guys about what we have on store for us tonight. You guys, appreciate you coming in, hanging out. Them dog days this summer, about to be the summer to remember. Shout outs in order. Let's give our guy Joe T a shout out. Big winner today with his Baltimore over. No sweat bet for Joe T. Now 10-1. His last 11 plays of the day. That's the fuck your under play of the day if you're keeping track at home. Then we got our guy Jay Peasy from LA to the Bay all day. Giving you them West Coast vibes. Comes out with another easy winner out there. The Atlanta Braves with some great live betting spots to go along with it. Big winners out there, 10-3 now. Jay Peasy, his last 13 plays of the day. It's only getting better. We're only getting stronger. We're getting out there, getting ready to give that cash to everybody around the horn. Everybody included in the chat as well. Sharp chat. We know we got all kinds of things happening with the stacks. The AYO plays of the day. Man, you guys have been doing a tremendous job this summer. We got more to do. We got a busy day ahead. Small slate is fine, because we shoot first strike tonight. You guys know the deal here. Monster run in first strike. 3 sweeps in our last 4 weeks. Now 12-2 in our last 14 UFC fight breakdowns. We got the Olympic golf video out there. So if you haven't checked it out yet, we'll talk a little bit about why this is a tournament to get involved with if you've been sitting on the sidelines with these golf plays. And we're going to have a special little guest appearance tonight. The First Strike crew getting ready to get after it. Going to go out there and make some action happen out there. Prop bets, side bets. Going to go out there and way past that with our guy Lou Betsia channel. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Going to be fun here. Trying to stay busy. Trying to get that cash. Busy for the sake of being busy. What do they say? Don't mistake activity for accomplishment. And that's very much the case with what's going on here at Sports Money. Excited about the things in store, you guys. And appreciate you all coming out to hang out tonight and see what we have for the card. We've got some exciting trends in store. And look, we got to go back to another RBI parlay. And 2 days in a row, 1 leg short of smacking down. Yesterday was 1,500. Today's going to be just over 2,100, a little over 21-1 for a 3-leg RBI parlay that I think makes a lot of sense. And maybe we'll add another parlay in there as well. We'll see how it looks here tonight, you guys, but appreciate you coming in, rocking with us. You know the deal. Thumbs up. Most important thing you can do here to show the support with what's happening at Sports Money. All the content. You guys have done a great job. I see all those comments in the videos. I see the thumbs up in the videos. It means a lot, you guys. Appreciate you showing the love and support. Just takes a second to put a little comment in there, any kind of comment in there. But it gives us a lot of excitement and enthusiasm to see that you guys are checking that stuff out. Putting your plays in there as well. Maybe your angles or your trends. It's great. We're putting it on the map. We're trying to grow this thing fast and furiously. And it takes everybody contributing. So appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, you want to grab a pen and paper because you'll see what we do here. Giving out all kinds of winners, not just from myself on screen here, any of our panelists, but that chat firing off bullets for you guys to take note of, whether they be future trends, future looks, future plays, future series bets that you're trying to make, or maybe it's just action throughout the card. And you want to make sure you keep it right so that you can get it tight against them bookies. And last but not least, you guys, make sure you put your plays in the chat. Want to recognize what you guys are on as well. And look, without further ado, let's get to work here. Again, short slate, no need to belabor it and keep you guys longer than necessary. I appreciate you taking the time to come in here. I respect your time. I don't want to waste your time. So let's get to work. Let's see what's cruising on by way of that sharp chat I talked about. And there he is, Joe T. The aforementioned 10-1 Fuck your underplay of the day from Joe T says, free pick tonight. He likes the over in that Dodgers and Padres game. I'll talk about that. You know, we got some looks in that Dodgers-Padres game. Can't wait to talk about that one on deck. We know Dylan Cease coming off that no-no. No means no, but we'll get into that shortly. Dear Slayer Skis in the house says, what's up, Mikey and everyone? Just tailing away, making money. Love this group of cappers here. Let's get it, everyone. A few more days, UFC. It's right around the corner. Early start, 12 p.m., which means we should be done by about 6 p.m. About 6 p.m. to give everybody a nice little Saturday. Hopefully we spend it counting all that cash that we're going to make from this Saturday's card. I'll tell you, first glance, some dog spots that I really like out there. I can't wait to talk about some of these props and things that we've got going on. MJ Strikers in the house says, let's get it, Mike. Ready for those superior breakdowns, my brother. Appreciate you, MJ Striker. I don't know about superior, but I'll break them down for you guys. I'll tell you why I'm going the angle that I'm going. There's Winner's Circle. Says, hey, yo. He's got the Reds money line for our guy, Winner's Circle. Trisha M's in the house. There's my girl, Trisha M. Says, hey, all. Here for my daily move-off fix. Let's go. Appreciate you, Trisha M. Gerald Jones says, what's good, Pimpin' Crew? Best bet for Gerald Jones. He's on them Astros run lines. Subhuman Gaucho's in the house. He says, what up? Sub, looking forward to getting after this UFC card with you tonight, my friend. We got a lot on the line. Trying to go. Let's see if we can't get another sweep in the card for us here. We got back-to-backers. Let's see if we can do it again. Oldie says, what up, squad? Gerald Jones says, hit Baltimore. KC run line. Braves money line for Gerald Jones. He's stacking cash. Oldie says, Trisha M, I see you, G. And there's Wine Time Sports. Says, what's up, Mikey? You're up, my guy. I see you banging it down, having a hell of a run this summer in baseball. Keep it going. I love talking with you about these sports, seeing what you're on. We know you are the resident Angels whisperer here, and almost makes me sad to see that I got the Angels on the shit list over there one time, but that's great, man. Good to see you here. Let's get this money. Oldie says, Wine Time Sports. This guy. Hope all's well your way. You know he's doing well, man. He's cashing. He's stacking that cash out there. Cliff Yang says, what's up, y'all? There's my guy Skunt Blaster. Says, under 3.5. Galaxy in San Jose. Gonna have to get me some soccer action tonight. It's a small card. So I will take note. Skunt Blaster. Make sure you follow our guy over there on X. He's putting out his parlays, his game action. He's giving you guys plenty of time to do it as well. So make sure you follow our guy Cody over on X. Trisha M says, oldie, those fish still lining our pockets on team total overs. Kelly B, comment and repost, especially UFC. JPZ winner today. Thanks. Absolutely. Kelly D. Trisha M says, who would have thought? And there's Dylan Coots. Little Coots in the house. He likes the Rockies money line tonight. A little plus 120 action here. Looks like some decent live dog spots tonight. Velo Coots, I appreciate you coming in, spending some time with the gang. Oldie says, Trisha M, love it. Didn't have action on it, but you better believe I was laughing out loud in the work truck. Kelly V says, Atlanta been winning or losing by the run line. So keep that in mind going forward. We know they're an under team. We certainly know Atlanta is an under team. Juggler 23, here we go. My guy with them trends. I told you, pen and paper time. Dylan Cease, over 3.5 hits allowed. 4 units equals pitcher coming off a no-hitter are allowing 6 hits in their next outing over the last 6 years. It's been my favorite trend. I shouldn't say that. I got a bunch of them that I really like. But that's one of them. Fading the guy that goes deep that following game. We'll talk about that shortly out there. Kelly V's shouting out Trisha M and Juggler 23, and Trisha M shouting out Kelly V. Skunk Blaster said, there we go. There we go. Skunk Blaster's X account. You guys make sure you follow what he's got doing over there on X. Good to see what he's sharing. Regular basis there. Regular contributor helping everybody line their pockets. Jerry Davis in the house says, what up, players? Juggler 23's shouting out Kelly B. Says, let's get that cash. And there's our guy Sub. Sub in the house. San Jose Galaxy. Full game over 3. Head-to-head, these two teams have seen 10 straight games with 3 or more goals, 4 or more goals, and 7 of 10 head-to-head. Little back and forth. between Sub and our guys. Be fun to see how that one unfolds. There's smoke and mirrors in the house. He says, Subhuman Gacho, making me that money on the both teams to score last night in the LAFC game. Big win there. Terry Davis says Oakland team total over 2.5. There's Jerry Davis's play on the screen for everybody to check out. Juggler 23 says over the last 20 years. It's a big number, Juggler 23. I know that, my guy. There's Jay Peasy. Says, what up, motherfuckers? On the long drive home, rolling with sports money. You're rolling, my guy. 10-3 in his last 13 plays out there. Man, it's got to be the ass crack at dawn when JPC's firing those plays over to get online for you guys to check out. So I hope you do that. I hope you make sure you hit that thumbs up. And, of course, you guys follow our guy, LA to the Bay all day. JPZ giving you guys them good looks. Cooking the books bright and early. Bacon and eggs. He says, nah, just give me that cash. Let's get this money. My guy, JPZ, doing his thing. Let's go. Sub says, got you, smoke and mirrors. Dominic Diaz in the house says, desperate for a 2-pack smack. He's all ears. And Kelly V says, JPZ, thanks for the Atlanta play. Let's go, you guys. Let's get into it. There's my guy, Nasty Nate, a.k.a. the wrench, a.k.a. the mechanic, a.k.a. Mod Man. Smack you in the head with that wrench if you don't hit that thumbs up button. So make sure you do just that. He says, on my way to Taco Wednesday. What kind of tacos do you get out there, Nasty Nate? I'm curious. I see them beach pics you're dropping on X. Them nice looking shots from the club. It looks like, man, you're doing your thing. I appreciate you spending the time with us here, you guys. Let's get to work. We have some work to do. We got to make this cash. We got to keep it moving. There's, again, no reason to keep anybody longer than necessary. Lots to do tonight. All kinds of things happening around the pack here. Let's talk about this Cubs and Reds game out there. I've got a double dipper in the Cubs and Reds game for us here. A plus money spot and a team total spot here. We got the Cubs starting off. You see their, let's go here. Let's go by their numbers. I get excited. I'm just going to just fire off the wins and loss record that you guys can already see. But we've got the Reds getting heavy action. Minus 156 has moved to minus 150. The Cubs line has moved from 132 to 130 for what it's worth. 83% of the bets and 77% of the cash on the Reds. Then we see a total. It wants to creep up. It wants to creep up. It's at 9. It's gone back. It's ping-ponged all day from 9 to 9.5. Bunch of 9s out there right now. In fact, the over 9s, you can get your plus 105 on the over 9 right now. 85% of the bets and 85% of the cash on this over. Starting pitchers, you'll see the deal here. We got Hendricks going for the Cubs with a 6.95 ERA. And then we've got Lodolo on the other side with a 3.45 ERA. Big difference between these two pitchers, not just their ERA, but it's what you would expect. When you see Hendricks with a 6.95 ERA, he's puking up runs. And he's letting the team down at 2-9. Too many runs for the team to come back from. And what's interesting about that is to start the season off, the first quarter of the season, the Cubs were the number 1 team at home for total runs per game. Then we look on the other side with Lodolo, 3.45 ERA, 8-3 on the season. Doing his job, holding it down, keeping things where they're supposed to be, showing command and control. Probably a little more leaky than he would like, but they do have back-to-back wins now against this Cubs team. 7-1, 6-3 last 2 games out there, now going for this triple header. And when I mentioned about things like you'll hear me say some comments about teams that are just kind of like due for regression and stuff like that. When you're a Cubs team that's been playing as far above your average run line per game the previous season to start that first quarter of the year, you're absolutely due for some regression. We see Ian Happ. We see guys like, Cody Bellinger, just not finding a way to kind of keep doing. Horner was another one out there that just kind of fallen off the wayside. Suzuki. When they get hot in bunches and everybody starts lifting each other up and the ball, everyone just gets excited in the clubhouse. Things start flying around in a positive direction. Not so much the case for this Cubs team here as of late. And regression time for these older pitchers with arms that are starting to get a little saggy. On the other side of things with the Reds, what's not to like about what's been happening out there? All across the board. I mean, they've got guys that they haven't even really, I don't think, been achieving optimum performance here. We look at our optimum performance. We look at some guys like Friedel's been a guy that stepped up, and Fraley's another guy that stepped up. Ellie De La Cruz started the year tearing it up, stolen bases, still leading the league in stolen bases because he had such a commanding lead in that first quarter to half of the season. Probably nobody's going to catch up to this guy. Then you look and you got guys like Spencer Steer out there making things happen. I mentioned Johnny India, Stevenson, Taylor Stevenson is another guy to take a look at here. And, you know, as we look at this thing here and I talk about the plays that I have, I look back and forth at this one because I saw the Cubs. Excuse me here. Let me get my head and my ass wired together. The Reds money line minus 150, minus 152, minus 154 has come down from the early open of minus 160. Then you look at dropping the half a run, you're still around minus 110s to minus 115s. Kind of that odds and juice thing that I just wasn't down with. Plus, I like them full game. And I see a lot of people that I respect talking about the full game minus ones. Certainly can appreciate that, but they win by one, you push. If you like that first five, you like this pitching matchup with Lodolo, who's been playing pretty well at home this year. I chose to attack it in a positive money fashion. I still want to exploit Hendricks in that first five. That's where I went with that team total over 2.5 in the first five. It was minus 120. A little more juice than I wanted to pay, but it's all right. Because we look and we see that first five in full game at plus 125. By the numbers, I got numbers all over the fucking place here. I got the UFC numbers. I got golf numbers. Here we go. Favorites as a dog or small favorite are 33-3. If the starter lost the last two starts, there's that number 2 again. We've been honing in on these 2s and 3s. 2 is that super key number when it comes to these bounce back spots. Bounce back should be the term of the day. Jay Peasy started my day off talking about bounce backs. He got his bounce back here. And they're a favorite for a reason. The average win line per game, they're winning by almost 3.5 runs per game in those spots. So there's definitely a lot to like. Then I started looking on the other side of things for the total. I see this thing ping-ponging between 9 and 9.5. Didn't want to I almost hit the Cincinnati Reds and the over 9. It was around plus 175, 174. I ultimately chose to kind of split these 2.5 with that first 5 full game. And because I just don't know if the Cubs can get there. That being said, home favorites off a single-digit win, 15-0-1 to the over. If it's the last game of the series, and they were a dog the last game. Dog last game of a series, home favorite winning by single digits, 15-0-1. And they're winning by almost 4 runs per game in those spots. That's where I thought it just made a lot of sense to try to tackle this Hendricks matchup. Give me the over 2.5. I expect him to get it done early. I do think this thing does tip to that over. I just don't like that it's flipping between 9 and 9.5. The key number in baseball being 9 for the totals. You know, the fact that we're seeing this thing flirt between that 9 and 9.5 just kind of tells me that like the sharper action wants that 9 and they don't want anything to do with that hook. So maybe they'll even buy it down to 9. They'll pay a little bit more of a juice to take an adjusted line behind it. Shouldn't be a problem for us. Like I said, I'm going Cincinnati first 5 full game, little same game parlay, I guess. It's down there in game parlays on DraftKings. And then that first 5 team total over gets the card started for us here. Why not? Why not take a shot at it? Let's see what Nasty Nate says. Kelly V says, Ohtani has a lot of stolen bases as well. He sure does. Nasty Nate says, going to be in Atlantic City, August 12th to the 16th. Anyone around there, hit me up. Oh, that'll be a lot of fun. That's a great time of year to be in Atlantic City, man. The whole shore is going to be popping. Woo! It brings me back. I won't tell some of the stories, but it brings me back. Terry Davis says, I mentioned to back Hendricks here. Reds' lack of discipline at plate could cure all ails. It's an interesting take on it. A humble and gentle Mexican says, let's get the Reds money. Says, pimp slap. Oh, yeah. Eberk. What's up, Eberk? He says, who's boosted in Hard Rock? Faded. Well, that's what we need. Trisha M. Excuse me. Trisha M. Give us the fade report out of there from Hard Rock. The Seminoles, I thought they were generous. They were gifting, but apparently they're not. They're greedy. They want all that stake gambling money, and they're going to juice everybody with a boost out there. So we'll see what Trisha M comes back with if she's got any action to report for us, you guys. Onward and upward. Let's roll on. I was looking at this 8-10 game for the Astros. We'll talk about an RBI spot in that game here. I was tempted to parlay it. I'll tell you what I'm tempted to parlay it with. I'm tempted to parlay the Astros and the Giants. I already have some action in that Oakland-San Francisco game, so we'll talk about it shortly. But tip to be square. Not yesterday, it wasn't. Baltimore, Houston, and Texas spots out there were pretty square parlay plays that took big L's, and I'm going to take in one of those myself. So I'm a little trepidation out there between making that happen. But onward and upward, though, we do have some action in this Dodgers game. We talked a little bit about this in the start of the show. 69% of the bets on the Padres, but only 57% of the – man, this thing is fucking bopping and binging and dinging and singing over there. Let me put that over there. It's vibrating away. It's going to bounce right off the table. We got Dylan Cease taking the home start out there. 3.50 ERA. He's 10-8 on his season. And then we see Kershaw, 4.5. First start, now coming in for his second start out there. Skunk Blaster says Dodgers team total over 3.5 plus 105. Trisha M says, there we go. There's the Hard Rock Report. The Beat Your Meat Hard Rock Report. We got to work on the name a little bit there, Trisha M. But Ebert, no straight money line boost in Hard Rock today. Interesting. Oh, Jay Peasy said the Dodgers on my do not bet list. Well, they're on my bet list. They're absolutely on my bet list tonight here. Jay Peasy, a little shocked at you, Jay Peasy. I thought for sure you'd be saying, you're giving me the Dodgers at plus money with Kershaw? And if it wasn't enough, the fade, as our guy Juggler23 mentioned at the start of the show, them guys that go deep, that's what basically it was for me. If they're an average 6-inning guy and they go 8, they're a 7-inning guy and they go 9, I don't care what their length is as long as they've gone longer. And I don't mean like a bag of shit that goes 2 innings and then and he goes 4 the next game. I mean, past the quality start threshold out there, right? They got to go 6+ for me to start considering these opportunities. And it's all about the finicky nature of pitching staff, right? We talk about their pregame routines. It affects me when I look at baseball in doubleheaders or rain delayed type of situations. Those pregame routines, when they start switching these pitching rotations up, throw everything out the window. Now you could argue, well, if he goes deep, you got to love the bullpen out there. But the Dodgers, I don't know that they've been busting up that bullpen that much either. You know, I saw Joe T's play of the day out there. He's on that, or not play of the day. Be careful. Be careful with these guys. When you get hot, you got to be careful and respect what they got. But he's talking about this over in this game. Another spot, home favorites, just like that Cubs trend. Home favorites, single-digit win. It's the last game of the series, and they were a dog the last game. 15-0-1 to the over. Going over by almost 4 runs per game. You know, I was just looking back and forth at it, and to me, this is the Kershaw Dodgers opportunity. I don't want to get cute with it. This guy's gone too far for me. It's been something that's made a ton of cash for me all along the way. Strikeout problems. Yeah. Plate discipline. Dylan Cease, 32.5% strikeout rate. Phenomenal. But a lot of these sons of bitches have short memories. I don't mean you guys in the chat. I mean everybody else. It was like 2 starts ago for Dylan Cease that everyone was like, oh, he's not what they thought they were getting. He doesn't have in the season he's had. You know, I keep scoring. I remember shit for a long time. You might be forgiven, but it's not forgotten. And I can remember everybody saying that Dylan Cease might have lost, that he doesn't have it. Now, all of a sudden, he's had a couple of good games strung together. 3 is the mark for pitchers, by the way. Usually we see after they've gone 3, unless they're short of straight up Cy Young potential, they fall off the tracks. Now, with the Padres, you know, lots of things going well. You know, you look at Arise, found his groove. But the rest of the squad, Manny Machado, I mean, I guess they do hit in pockets as well, just like every other team. But I think we got a situation here where it's the lefty matchup. Padres have struggled against lefties. Speaking of those batters not hitting in continuity or congruent fashion out there, I think we can see a Kershaw bounce back spot. I like runs in this game. I don't know where they're going to come from, but I don't need to belabor the point here. This is a straight up opportunity. Vitalis says, what happened to that 22-0? We jumping on them again. I think we went 1-1 yesterday on the 22-0s. Let me check. It's a good question. Oh, shit, I got to look over here. That's a good question. Which ones were they? 22-0. Oh, no, they didn't go. No, they got beat up. But they weren't in play today. They were the Nationals and the White Sox. Although the Nationals, or the White Sox rather, we did cash 2 of 3 plays in that White Sox game. We cashed that first 5 under 4 at even money. We lost the plus 168, but we did win the plus 1.5 at minus 105. That was one of the trends. Dogs off a loss with more than 1.2 hits, more than their season average. Now that Nationals game. Only counted as 1 loss. But man, it's funny because I was saying earlier today, like, some of them talk about how they water down the outfield in Philadelphia or the infield in Philadelphia. I don't know about that. All due respect to my guy Sharpie, I'll challenge him on that because I've seen plenty of Phillies games. They're watering it down because it's fucking hot. They don't want the grass to burn out. They watered the shit out of the game yesterday in Arizona. I literally watched them with a fire hose dumping buckets of water all over that field. Man, that fucking ball didn't touch the ground once. And then we see it again today. That ball was flying everywhere in Philadelphia out there. So I don't know if I'm going to buy into that hype. I don't know if I buy into that hype. But I do buy into this Dodgers hype. I do buy into this Kershaw factor here. Look, we're fortunate to get him at a plus 115. Yeah, Vitalis says they want the grass green. Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, I know my yard's like fucking pine straw out there. It's like it looks like the cut underneath the tree at a golf course. It's like browned out, and I won't throw the water on it. Fuck them. It'll naturally take care of itself. I did miss a couple spots for you guys though here. I'll talk about this one for the Astros game in a second, but anybody that was looking at the totals in that Astros game, worth note, interleague dogs off a game scoring less than 7 runs. 25-6-1 to the over. It's the last game of the series, and they're changing sites the next game. Packed up the bags, going to hit the road. Last game of a series, scored less than 7 runs the previous game, interleague series. 25-6-1 to the over. Applies to 2 games tonight. 2 games. The Houston Astros Pirates game, the Athletics and Giants game as well. So, yeah, some trends are meant to be broken. I'm not sure about this one, though. I'm not sure about that. But I do like runs here. This is the other one. This is where the importance of the opening line, the first number, right? We talked about this before. First number on the card was 4.5 for this first 5 for this LA Dodgers game. Not to bounce all over the place on you guys. Open at 4.5, first 5. It's now 3.5. It's a full run to the under. It's a blind play to the over in most cases. We'll see exactly how this night shapes out. I may add that to the card. Especially seeing that over trend for this Dodgers game out there and hearing Dylan Cease with this. I mean, look, on paper, it makes a ton of sense. Kershaw and Cease, yeah, they're going to be lucky to scrounge up a run. I don't know. 4.5 to 3.5. I was talking with our friend, young Jose Bouquet, maybe a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And it was probably last week. We were talking about the play, the numbers, the spots, and we both agreed that that blind tail, when it goes from 4.5 to 3.5 and playing the over, has only lost 1 time. And we both knew exactly what time it was that we've seen that miss. Otherwise, it's been nothing but gold. Speaking of Olympics, gold out there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that total. But I am on the Dodgers in this game. Let's keep it moving here. Keep things rolling on the line. We'll talk about this Athletics and Giants game next here. Give you guys the look that I had here. And we look at this total, this cash flow. The cash flow, no movement on this Giants line. 87% of the bets and 87% of the cash on the Giants. Then we see a total. 7.5 has moved to 8. 97% of the bets, 97% of the cash on the over. It's a big monster number. It makes sense. The number one hitting team in baseball in the month of July is the Oakland A's. They're going to have their work cut out for them, though. They got Ross Stripling coming up to the bump. This guy's fucking journeyman and then some. And he sucked everywhere he's gone. 6.02 ERA, 2-9 on the season. Lets up a shitload of runs. So many runs the team can't get back after he does just that. Then we got Logan Webb at home. We know he's a dominant force. He's a freak of nature when he puts on the home sweater. 3.72 ERA, 7-8 on his season. Lots of starts for this guy. He's just been a battle-tested warrior out there. And surprise, surprise, last game, Oakland handled these Giants 5-2. And them Giants were smooth sailing out of that course series. Now, it was the first game out of course. So let's not get too excited just yet. Right? But I'm taking this run line. Good spot, good opportunity. We talked a little bit about that total, right? Same thing as that previous game. Interleague dogs, games scoring less than 7 runs. 25-6-1 to the over. Last game of the series, switching sites. 1. Ducks, longer than a plus 160, coming off a win where their opponent's starter gave up less than 7 runs. Are 5-22 on the run line in those spots. And they're losing the run line by almost 2.5 runs. That means they're losing by 4 runs per game in those spots. I thought about the adjusted run line in this one, to be honest with you. I was looking right at it. I thought, you know what? How much do I want to skin off of this thing here? I thought 2.5, pretty decent money shot on this thing, especially considering what happened that previous game. But, you know, I got minus 110 for that plus 1.5. It's the fringe of where I like to get involved and spend that money. So, you know, I mean, this thing's moved now considerably, huh? Whoa. Minus 120s, minus 130s, minus 126, minus 130. 1.5's catching some steam. Rightfully so. Oakland got their win yesterday. It was a big win for Oakland out there. I don't think they do it twice in a row. I think this number supports a spot for San Francisco. Just out of curiosity. Let me just look and see. What the alternate line would look like in this spot. Since we're talking about it, 9:48 p.m. Game lines, alternate spread. Wow. Minus 2.5. Balloons. Minus 1.5 right now on DraftKings showing plus 110. Minus 2 is plus 139. Minus 2.5 is plus 169. And then the 3 goes up to 227 and 3.5 to 257. So between 3, what did I just say about the 2.5 and then the 1.5? You know, the run line and winning by 2.5 runs suggest they win by 4. It's like these numbers come out of these bookies' pockets or these bookies' playbooks. The incremental gain, we've done this run line game before where I've shown you guys where the alternate lines make sense. It definitely shines in like hockey and football, especially. Nailed a shit ton of these alternate line. Basketball. When you see the incremental gain on these run lines and it's measured or it's consistent from 2 to 2.5 to 3 to 3.5, you look for the big jump off the pool or off the deep end. And it goes up almost a full $1 from 3.5 to 4. I think you get away with this minus 2.5 at plus 169. Like I said, I got the minus 110 in my pocket at plus 110. We'll keep our eyes on that. We'll circle back tomorrow and see if I was just completely full of shit or if, in fact, this does have some validity to it out there. Juggler 23. Big stat for Juggler 23. San Fran is 14-4 as a night favorite of minus 160 or higher with starter Logan Webb in the last 5 seasons, including 11-1 at home. Vitalis says Webb only pitches at home. Yeah, he certainly does. Ick, what's up, my guy? Ick, I caught you earlier today. Racing the ponies out there. And Jerry Davis says, did just enough to blow my Arizona run line. LOL. Yep. Vitalis says Stripling in first 5, 1-10. Wow. Man. I'm just going to circle back and go live later. Talk about these spots there because it sounds to me like the first 5. What's the first 5? Just quick perusing here. I used to know some asshole that would sell plays. People actually bought these fucking plays where he would look for the first 5s and he would look for the minus a halves and plus a halves. And he would look for the biggest number on the scale. So his capping of the card, this is how fucking bad some of this fucking community is. Minus a half. If it was minus 145 or minus one, that was his play of the day. And people paid him for it. And I think I forgot what he said he charged. It wasn't cheap. It wasn't like, give me $5 and I'll give you the play of the day. And he told me how he used to clean up. People loved it. And they would win because it's the highest one on the card, because the books think that it's the highest likelihood to happen, right? That's why it's juiced. And he would do the same thing on the flip side for the plus a half. And so if you're keeping score at home, don't pay for that kind of bad advice. Second, maybe that's worth a parlay. Look for the biggest plus a half a run line and the biggest minus a half a run line and slap the two together. I bet you could make some plus money out of that. Maybe I'll add that to as we talk out loud. Vital says you got to take the first 5. Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, it's minus a half and minus 140. You know what though? What about the pivot? Find a different way to play it. San Fran and San Fran. San Fran first 5. San Fran full game is minus 110. And you're effectively cutting the juice. What would be your fear there? Is that Oakland's bullpen's going to come in and lock them down? I don't think so. Boy, the tie in the first 5 and San Fran to win the game is plus 800. Wow. You know, sometimes with more time, lots of time to jump in and play some of that stuff out there. Vitalis says, nope. I couldn't believe it, Vitalis. Like, he was telling me just all the people, like, really? People just pay for this. We're happy to do it. Thank you so much. I mean, you know, all the suckery that goes on Twitter after you pay somebody to give you the shittiest odds on the card, right? But anyhow, I digress. It was nobody here, by the way. I don't roll with said person any longer because I just didn't find any value in the way that they were capping. You know, like rule number 1, don't be the smartest person in the room. Rule number 2, surround yourself with, you know, good people, good-hearted, good attitudes, all the positivity, right? Positivity connects and attracts. He fell short of both of those buckets. But anyhow, I digress here. Let me give you guys this home run prop parlay. Let's get this thing rolling. 21-41, almost 21 and a half. The cash out there, just 3 legs, just a 3-pack. Down here, DS. I can't say this guy's fucking name. It's Colorado's Tovar is who it is. Colorado's Tovar. It's like Ed Quasar or some shit like that. Tovar plus 205. And then Fitzgerald for San Francisco at plus 200. Now, you guys have heard me say this before on Sharpie's show. Be smart about these, right? We're 2-1 2 days in a row without the parlay hitting. But we're super in the green. We're super in the profit by playing these individually. So you'll see the numbers that are out there for benchmark or comparison purposes. Let's get into why I like some of these guys here. I'll tell you exactly the breakdowns in these 3 players. Hopefully we can get this cash together. First and foremost, let's go to this Colorado guy, the aforementioned player who I can't say his name. Ezekiel Tovar? Ezekiel Tovar. We'll call him Ezekiel Tovar, right? He's the shortstop. He's in the 2 spot out there for this Colorado Rockies position. And I'm kind of picking on the Angels in this game. I don't want to play on the Angels. I didn't want to play necessarily against them. I kind of like the Rockies in this game, especially because I believe I heard our guy Winetime say earlier today that he was not an Angels fan tonight, if I'm not mistaken. I don't put words in his mouth, but we look at Ezekiel Tovar. Lefty righties. This guy clobbers righties. Clobbers them. He's hitting at a 302. It's the highest on the team. We look at Davis Daniel, the starter for the Angels. He sucks against righties, which is bad news for him in this game because he is a righty. Lefty-lefty matchups, those are like red flags. Like whether it be lefty pitcher versus lefty pitcher, like those hit at a high rate of unders, or lefty batters against the lefty pitchers. Try to stay away from those two. But majority of the league's righty. And 302 against the righty pitcher. Daniel's given up 333 batting average against righties. Only 235 against lefties, for what it's worth. The only lefty in front of Ezekiel Tovar is Blackman. Albeit the second time in the order, the bottom of the order, the 9th guy is Jay Cave. Tovar's got a hit in 16 of his last 16 games. Also, we're at that point of the season where we have some really good comprehensive information, kind of mark over mark, and the mark is 50 plate appearances. Shout out to the friends at Action that dropped some of this info out there. Tovar was hitting 227 to start the first 50 plate appearances. His second 50 plate appearances, he's hitting 429. That's a 202 game. 16 hits in 16 games will do that to you. And he's plus 205 for an RBI? Okay, especially knowing Davis Daniels stinks. That's a plus 205 spot. We roll on to guy number 2. Let's go back to that Houston game. I mentioned to you guys some over trends in this game, right? There's some spots that Framber Valdez, 241 against righties, 300 against lefties. But we got Jake Woodford. Maybe the smartest thing I've ever heard Debbie Cab say. When you got these arm injuries and these shoulder injuries for pitchers, sometimes that thing gets a little loose. It gets a little wobbly, and it's hard to control. Certainly don't have any command out there. So Jake Woodford out there right now is the guy that I want to pick on here. Yanner Diaz is a righty. Jake Woodford against righties, 458. Batting average allowed against right-handed. Almost 1 for 2. Almost 1 of every 2 times he gets a shot, someone's going to hit it. And you got this guy in the 4-hole, hitting 300 against righties. Almost a similar markup as we talked about with Tovar. Ranks sky high across my hitting dashboards today. He's only priced at plus 145, so he's in that sweet spot. You guys remember from last year, the 4-hole, the sweet spot. Then we look at that plus 145 spot. It's not quite free money, but there's a lot of great hitters in this. I could have gone, honestly. I was looking at Bregman, and I was looking at Alvarez as well. I mean, the only problem, ultimately I opted not to go with Alvarez because he's a lefty, and we see that Woodford's a 250 against lefties. So what screws me a lot of times when I play these RBI props is that 3-hole guy ends up batting up those guys that were in 1 and 2 because he goes yardstick, and then there's nobody left on base for my guy in the 4-hole. But because Yordan Alvarez is in the 3 spot as that lefty with a 250 against lefties, we got 458 for Woodford against righties. Altuve hits 300 against righties. Bregman hits 270 against righties. And then there's our guy in the 4 spot, Yanner Diaz, plus 145. Last but not least, the third guy on the card. Another 50-50 situation. Fitzgerald here for the San Francisco Giants game. I was trying to figure out how did I want to get some more Giants action. Tyler Fitzgerald projected to be hitting in the 6th order right now. Now, we look at Ross. You guys talked about some of those Ross numbers. 284 against righties, 346 against lefties. In this case, Tyler Fitzgerald is a righty. It's not, I mean, it's a big difference, but it's not a huge difference like we were talking about 250s versus 500s. But right in front of him is Conforto, that lefty, also only hitting 203 against righties. Kind of think it's one of those spots where Conforto gets on the base and Tyler Fitzgerald bats him in there and gets it done. The 50-50 report, first 50 plate appearances, 250 is what Tyler Fitzgerald was hitting. His last 50 plate appearances, he's hitting 467. That's a 217 game. This guy's at plus 200 as well. All the information I can give you as to why I'm jumping in on this thing. Now, if you want to question or challenge the integrity or validity of the 50-50 report, highest guy on the 50-50 report, Vladdy Guerrero. He was hitting 309. Now he's hitting 588. It's an increase of 279. Number 1 on the list out there. There's some good merit in those numbers out there. I think this one's got a shot. 21-41. Man, we've been goddamn close. 2 days in a row. I badly want to come in there and bag one of these with you guys. So we'll see if we can get this tonight. I think this is a good opportunity to make it happen. I stayed away from some of the games that I attacked that Cincinnati game, so there wasn't really much need for me to attack it and try to put anything on the line from this game or from this perspective. I didn't want any Cubs. And as far as the Reds were concerned, they're just, I've been lucky. I've gotten some Friedel. I've gotten some Stevenson. I've gotten some Fraley, Espinal, crushing it down there in the 8-hole as well. But ultimately, that's where I stayed off of. That was the play that I wanted to get into, though. Kelly V says Tovar, longest active hitting streak. Hell yeah, Kelly V. That's why you made the card. Honorable mention for the card, if you guys care, was Tyler Ward for the Angels. He was right there on the cusp. Ricky Levine says, Pimp Slap, what's cracking? He likes Tovar over 1.5 bases. Yeah. Should get on base. You should absolutely get on base. I think it's a great look. I don't play the bases. I play the ribbies, but it's a great look. Fuck it. Same game parlay action coming into play there. All right, you guys, let's move on. Let's talk about some Olympiasos here. What do we got? I'll tell you what we got. If you don't get fired up for the Olympics, I can't help you, man. It's not as good as it used to be, but it's still pretty damn good. Now, the men's basketball team, they can S a D. I can't believe these guys. South Sudan? The fuck? Are you kidding me? You can't find a way to cover the spread? Suspect. I have a lot of feeling and belief it's because of the way they play in the NBA with that lackadaisical attitude behind it. But let's see. Which do you guys want first? Which do you want first? All right, let me come out the gate with this one for you guys. I'll come out the gate with this one. I'll give you this boxing to win the gold medal. I can't believe it's a thing. You know, I'm not getting into, you guys know me. I try to walk the line. I don't care what side, where you want to be in any of the stuff, which you'll understand in a second. This line is getting fucking absolutely crushed. It's getting crushed. I sent a text out to my boys this morning, and we had a little parlay action in there, and it was plus 125. I locked it up at plus 100. At last look, it was minus 120. Let me take a peek and see what's going on here. Let me take a look. I'll see if I can find it quick. If I can, I won't, but makes me laugh. You'll understand why in a second. No, I can't find it on the fly like that. It's a dude fighting women. 57 kilogram. It's for the gold. It's a dude fighting a woman. If you saw the highlights, you'll understand. It's not right. I mean, the one looked like a fucking prom night audition. The one girl was up against the ropes. The dude was just getting in there. I mean, excuse me. They were getting in there. I don't care what. Look, I just want to get paid. I don't care about anything other than the color of the green. And this green looks like it's good money to me. So this will be a Friday morning boxing match. There's one going Thursday. I believe the Thursday parlayed the Thursday and Friday one was like plus 265. I can't remember exactly what I got it at. And I'm giving it to you now because it's getting fucking steamed. It's getting crushed. It's all great. It's all great. I don't want to get into the debate. But I want some cash, and that's where I got some cash. So 57 kilograms, Lin Yu Ting. Now minus 120, minus 125. I don't know. I can't believe they're allowing it. I can't. But we won't get into it. We will stay far the fuck away from it. But we get some cash on it. I'm going to take a shot with it. I parlayed the two together earlier today, and I'll tell you the other one I parlayed. Let me see if I can find this real quick here for anybody that's interested at home. I can't find it offhand. Why can't I ever find anything I'm looking for fast? Why can't I find it? It's funny because like somewhere around post lunchtime, the entire fucking world realized exactly what the angle was, and everybody jumped in on it. Shout out to my girl here on our chat. I won't out her for it, but Imain Khalif. I think it's 66 kilograms. Imain Khalif was minus 280. Now, you got to shop around for some of these books because DraftKings don't want any part of it. They took those two weight classes specifically down. They just don't want anything to do with it. So, anyhow, it's a little angle. I'm not a boxing aficionado. I'd like to think I know a little something about something. And that's something I want to get part of. So, talked enough about that. Let's talk about some golf. Let me get out of that. Let me get out of that crocodile pit. Trev got, yeah, I know. It don't make any sense. Hey, we're all in the trust tree here, right? We're in the nest, the trust tree, right? It's all good. All right, look at this, guys. If you're not a golf bettor, this is a tournament to play for golf betting purposes. Why? Well, first of all, it's truly some of the best in the world. The way the Olympics break down for golf, every country has 2 representatives that can qualify to be in the thing. And if they have players in the top 15, then said countries allowed more players. Who qualifies in that arena? The US of A. Good old red, white, and blue. 4 players in the top 15 all get to go out there and represent the Olympics. Now, they're fucking smashed. They're steamed right now. Scotty Scheffler, 2-timer, plus 330 to win the Olympics, the odds-on favorite. Xander Schauffele, plus 550. Then there's Rory McIlroy, plus 750. And John Rahm, plus 900. Colin Morikawa, another American, plus 900. And then there's Tommy Fleetwood at plus 2,000. I wouldn't go for, look, if you're going to play the favorites, wait till the first round's over. Then maybe you get them at a better number because they're favorites for a reason. But as far as the Olympics are concerned, let's talk about the difference in the tournaments. They don't play any of this team bullshit. They play regular golf tournament. But instead of a traditional golf field of 100, what do they got, 125, 140 people in the golf field? There's only 60 in this field. You just increased your odds of winning by half on anything you play across golf. Now, what fucks people normally if you're playing outright winners or round tournaments and shit like that? What if my guy doesn't make the cut? Now I'm out. Now I got a guy to win the tournament and he's cut. Doesn't even go to the second half. There's no cuts in Olympic golf either. So you've automatically, in my estimation, increased the odds again by a half. So you got yourself a favorable opportunity to jump in and play some of these guys, specifically in the men's tournament. The women will go next week. Should be a fun tournament. The way that I broke this one down, a couple spots that I jumped at for you guys here. You'll see them on the screen. First and foremost, I went to Neiman. Why did I take Neiman for the first round leader? Specifically, Steam Report. This guy, every week I get the Steam Report on these golfers, typically the day before the matchup. And the reason I'm giving this to you guys today is because it starts at 3 a.m. overnight. So this is probably the best case scenario if you ever want to wake up to having a lotto ticket in your pocket, because this shit will be done by like 9 a.m. Eastern. So 3 a.m. tee off, 9 a.m. it's done. By the time you get your second cup of coffee, you already know if you cashed on one of these big line opportunities. Again, no cuts. Things are wide open. We'll talk about the other 2 guys in a second, but Neiman made the Steam Report. The Steam Report's almost 100% for top 20s. It's 85% for top 10s for what it's worth. And if you look at Neiman to get in the top 10, he's plus 140 right now. Top 5 is plus 330. I don't think Joakim Neiman has the opportunity to go get this thing done for the full course of the event. There's just too much talent in front of him across the board, really all over the board. These are all top golfers in their own right, representing their countries. Could Neiman surprise? Yeah. Does the Steam Report suck for outright leaders? Yeah, it does. But it still kicks ass in top 20s and top 10s. If you're going to be in the top 20 or the top 10, then why the hell can't you come out there and lead this first round at 22-1? Steam Report opportunity to get this thing happening. He is in the top 10 of the field. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's the 8th ranked guy in the field right now for what that's worth as well. It's just going to take a good start for Neiman to make things happen. Now I looked at 2 other players here. Let me pull these other notes up. 2 other players that I've got for you guys. And this is, I'm taking a second to tell you about this. This is where my money is. And it's good goddamn money. We're taking a shot. Let's go to Olesen. Let's go to Thorberg Olesen. He's from Denmark. This course is being played at Le Golf National in France. This course is known for a couple of things. One, the Ryder Cup men's team got the shit kicked out of them for the U.S. when they played out there last time because it does have thinner fairways. What kind of counteracts thin fairways or less wide fairways? Course history. If you played the course a bunch of times, you know you can get it done. In 2017, the French national, he posted top 3. He's gone top 20 and top 10 the following 2 French national golf tournaments that he played in the last 2 years. Hasn't been winning a ton since his big win for the Raj Al some shit championship in January. It's his ball striking that definitely has been the problem, but he's got the history. He's got the pedigree. Here's the thing about number movement. He opens up to win the tournament. He's 80-1. To win the first round, he drops all the way down to 45-1. A little concerned that this guy playing on this course on a regular basis, playing out of Denmark, knows the track in and out, a regular at this thing. If he can get his ball striking together, we don't need him for the full tournament. We just need him to get his head and his ass wired together for one day. And they've already been out there practicing, trying to figure out the wind, the angles, the lies, the grass, and everything else that goes along with it. 45-1. I also took a shot with an Italian. I went to Guido Magliozzi. I don't know. This guy, talk about course conditions. Pretty particular in the way I chose to do this one. Just 2 years ago, he won the French Open. He's played on this course regularly. He's in all of those French Open events, and he outright won the goddamn thing 2 years ago. Won the KLM Open in June. Starting to get some momentum. He shit the bed. He had 2 missed cuts. Remind you, there's no missed cuts. But he did finish tied for 31st at Troon just last week. So he's kind of figured his game out. He's kind of moving in the right direction there. So I kind of went to a medium and a high spot the way I chose to play these things. Look, if you're a $100 bettor, you know, I don't tell you what to do with your money, but maybe it's like $20 on each of them, right? I mean, shit, if you put $20 on Neiman, you're picking up $440 if he wins this thing first round. You put $20 on Olesen, you're picking up $900. So I'm talking about the scratch. Maybe it's $10. Maybe it's a $5. Maybe you just put a fucking dollar on it. Put something on these 3 guys because I think, yeah, there's a big disparity in the ability gap between the top and the middle of this field. These guys are no by stretch means in the bottom of the field. It's a 60-person field. Guido ranks 19th. Neiman is 14th overall in the world and in this ranking. And then there's Olesen at 25th. So these guys are all top half of the tournament. We just need one good day for these guys to go out there and cash. Mind you, smaller field increases our odds by half. Do you want to look at outrights for these guys? Olesen's 8,000 or 80-1. If you want to look back at Guido's, 95-1, 110-1, depending on the book that you have out there. Not going to get cute like that, but if you guys are interested in golf, there's another parlay that I put together too. I'll share this one with you guys. This one's a fun one that I had. It's a top 20 parlay. So keep this in mind. Top 20, 60-person field, right? They just got to come in that top third of the field. By the way, Olesen, the guy that's multiple champions here at this track, plus 450 to finish in the top 10. It's got to come in the top 18% of the bracket for this guy to cash a plus 450. I mean, some of these are longer shots, but the payouts are sizable enough that it does warrant at least a little consideration. Let me find this. Where is it? Here it is. I'll pop this out there for you guys in the chat. This is a top 20 finish. So Fleetwood's been firing. He's a favorite. He's a big favorite at the British Open. He shit the bed. His game didn't come together. He just kind of crumbled and fell apart. Jason Day, fucking scroungy Australian that just finds a way to compete in every kind of major event. I get into detail, but I don't want to bore you guys with it. Jay Day, and then there's Migliozzi again. Top 20. All 3 of these guys to finish in the top 20 parlay on DraftKings is plus 550. Now, if they're tied for top 20, they still pay. It includes ties. So even if there's like an 8-way tie for 20th, it's still going to pay you at that plus 550 rank. Again, with the size of the field, with the no cut factors, you've increased your likelihood of winning from a traditional golf tournament of 0.6%. Now you're sitting there at 2.5%. Your odds and probability of winning, and then you compare it to the payouts and the implied probabilities on the payouts, exponentially, you got to put a couple dollars on it. Again, even if it's just a sprinkle, we come back tomorrow, we laugh about how bad it was, or maybe we're sitting there high-fiving and celebrating about how much cash we made from it. I do like these 3 guys for my top first-round leaders. Few and far between, but I think it's worth the shot there, you guys, and I appreciate you hearing me out for it. There's that top 20 in there as well. We'll count those all as official. JPZ says Opelka starting soon, huh? I didn't even look. Honestly, PZ, I would be giving you an opinion off the cuff. They're playing at ATP Washington, right? I believe they're not playing in the Olympics. And let me see. I didn't get much time to look. In fact, I didn't look at any of this. Against Jordan Thompson, you know I like Riley Opelka. I'm not going to give it official. I'll tell you what I'm going to look for. I'm going to look for him to lose at some point in this first set. And if he drops behind, even if he gets that first serve down, he should be around plus 105. Maybe a good opportunity to strike on him. So, Stirring Company, I'm not a pitch guy. MLS, sure. I know we had some action there with the Galaxy. We're a house divided between the under 3.5 and the over 3. But I didn't look at any of that stuff, you guys. We got UFC to shoot tonight. So here we are at 7 o'clock. I don't know how we do this. We get 4 games and get excited. I like talking to you guys. You know, I like hearing your guys' angles and trends. I like seeing what we got going on out there. I hope you guys have some fun with this Olympic stuff. It's my I definitely like the Winter Olympics more than the Summer Olympics. I watch every event in the Winter Olympics. In the summer, I'd be curious to watch the swimming. If you guys, or the shit that goes down the Seine River, you guys didn't see what's going on out there. The thing had like all kinds of toxicity warnings, so they had to change they had to put chemicals into the river because it just had literally too much shit in the river. Then it rained a ton right before the Olympics, so all that groundwater ran back into the Seine River, and all that toxicity right back through the roof. They canceled prep the last couple of days for I think they do the triathlon. Is it the triathlon that swims through there? And then all the cruise shit that you see out there. They canceled it all because the E. coli warnings are unsafe, hazardous conditions. I'd be inclined to watch that because I wouldn't mind seeing somebody have to swim through a pile of shit. But that's just me. That's me, and that's what's going on through my head. So I appreciate you guys hearing it out. It's a fun time, though. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys hanging out here, man. We're trying to get this money from the bookie. We're all doing it together, and you guys always come in doing a great job. So Jerry Davis says, I got Morikawa to medal for plus 450. It's a great way to do it, man. You know, he's another guy that kind of underperformed early, but he's a major champion. And, you know, I kind of would look at the last 8 majors. You know, who's been relevant, who's been in the top 5 of those things. And you can start to whittle the card down as well. The key piece here is going to be ability to stay in the fairway. I like Hideki Matsuyama as well. He's a guy that didn't fare so well in Japan, but French Open previous winner, his countryman out there, Rio something or another, I can't say his last name. And they have very much a similar game style. They do control the ball off the tee. They have decent iron play. It's the putting game that has shaken them. They've changed the putting surface out there to add more sand. They started aerating twice a year about 3 years ago after trying to save money for about 10 years. And the shit got too soft, and it was like everything was getting stuck, and it took away the challenge and the undulation of the green. So I don't expect the putting to be too much of a challenge. It's going to be that hitting the fairway and then being able to get those short game on point. So good luck, everybody, with your bets. I see you guys out there. Peasy, Stirring Company, Jerry Davis. Love you guys, man. J-Dub, Trap God, Cameron Sinnett, Trisha M, Nicholas Handy, NJ Stryker, Sean Fisher in the house. Listen, don't judge me on the result of that boxing unless it's a gold medal. And then we can come back and we can laugh about it together, you guys. But that's going to be Friday morning. I think that's like 5 a.m. Friday morning. Keep in mind they're in Paris, so these times are all whacked out. If you're going to play that golf, it does start at 3 a.m. Eastern. So you literally have about 8 hours to compare. We've got a video out there giving you guys a ton of breakdowns on there. Shot something with our guy Picks from Dave talking about round matchups. I put an 11-1 parlay out there in that as well. So golf's my favorite event in the Olympics. I love that they're back and they're doing it, at least the Summer Olympics. So make that money, you guys know the deal. Be careful with these bankrolls. Dog days of summer, but we're having a damn good summer. Let's keep it going. Stack it high. Let it fly. Do it for your country. Let's get that going.